So, my dear brothers and sisters, let me take this opportunity to welcome you again to this wonderful session. And today I've taken a different trajectory on what exactly is going on because I came across these wonderful brothers and sisters over, they call themselves the three Mormons, and they were giving their view on how a Mormon or a member of the church, a voter who is a member of the church, actually views things, matters to do with politics and all that. And I took an interest over this because I wanted to really hear what they will have to, what they are saying and what they'll have to say over, their upcoming elections and how maybe a lot of young members of the church view politics in America. And I took an interest, and their discussion was very interesting and very, very interesting. And without further ado, and please let me make it very clear, I am not actually a partisan of any political view in the US, but this is just a topic that caught me interested, like any other person would be interested to listen to. And that's why I'm deciding to listen to this topic. And please, without further ado, let me just invite you so that we can have a listen to what they have to say. You are actually welcome.
It's our duty as Americans to vote, and the prophet of our church has said to vote. So vote.
But if you don't feel comfortable voting, I'm not going to hurt you. Like, I'm not going to get in your face and tell you that you're stupid.
Everything's so metaphysical with this guy.
If you don't know how to vote, you can comment below and tell me how to vote.
Also leave your bank account number and your social security number, your address, and the day you were born.
So the first presidency message about voting says that we have the privilege and responsibility to vote for office holders and help public policy.
And participating in the political process will directly affect your community today and tomorrow. So before you even vote and put a name on the ballot, make sure you understand what that person's going to do and how that will affect your reality now and how it could affect future generations to come.
Also, something important, go into candidates' websites and look at their policies. Even if it's a candidate you don't want to vote for, look at their policies and see if they might change your mind, because you need to go and look at things you're not supposed to agree with or that are on the opposite spectrum to understand what you want.
Yeah, when I do that, I find out that I'm wrong all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I look up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I kind of agree with what she just said, even though my general idea of her was poor. But now it's a little bit better because I actually looked up what she was saying.
Yeah.
I've never been wrong.
I never thought...
I've never been wrong.
So earlier this year, a certain candidate advocated perhaps having a ban on Muslims entering the nation until we can get a stronger grasp on what's happening with terrorism abroad. And the church released a statement in regards to that idea. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is neutral in regard to party politics and election campaigns. However, it is not neutral in relation to religious freedom. And then quoted the founder of the church, Joseph Smith, or the earthly founder, I should say, Joseph Smith. If it has been demonstrated that I have been willing to die for a Mormon, I am bold to declare before heaven that I am just as ready to die in defending the rights of a Presbyterian, a Baptist, or a good man of any denomination.
The banning people from coming into our nation just because they worship a certain way technically goes directly against the 11th Article of Faith, which we believe. And it says, we claim the privilege of worshiping Almighty God according to the dictates of our own conscience and allow all men the same privilege. Let them worship how, where, or what they may.
So if their conscience is directly opposite than yours, this does not give you the right to say, no, you are not American. I cannot allow you to enter this country. So I feel deep within my soul that that is just a value that needs to be emphasized, that, Americans can be anyone. They can be anyone with a conscience. They can be anyone within religion. They can be anyone that wants to promote a good community. And those can be Muslims included.
So Pew Research had atheists as the most disliked religion in the nation, and then followed by Muslims, and then after Latter-day Saints. So if persecution and targeting towards Muslims is okay, and we let that happen, we accept that, and let these hate crimes rise against them, guess who's next? We're next.
We're the third disliked?
We're the third disliked.
Okay, that's messed up. We should be the most liked. We're like...
You know what's funny? You can call Mormons crazy. We could call bigots. We could call evil. But unfriendly is just not... That is not okay. We are a friendly people.
We get so emotionally charged when someone says we're not friendly. We're like,
hey, wait a minute.
Call me a bigot, that's fine.
I bring everybody cookies. brownies.
Dare you
That's
call us
friendly.
We are
I
friendly
have made
people.
brownies for everyone in the ward.
You
Call me unfriendly.
So, political candidates often say things about Mormons to try and get us to like them or to say bad things to get other people to like them. But I don't really believe any of it because I think they're all liars. And until they show up at my door with the plate of friendly cookies, I am not going to buy anything they say about me and my religion.
What if they're even nice things? Like, they say nice things?
I don't believe them. I don't think that's how they really think. I'm pretty sure some public relations person
What is wrong with you?
wrote that for
But
them.
what if, like-
I don't think it's their real opinion.
But what if they've never said
my
anything
God.
bad about Mormons?
I don't think it's their real opinion. If you're running for office, somebody is picking out your shoes and your ties
True,
and
true.
your outfits
I agree
and
with that.
how your hair looks.
And
They're
some things you
definitely
say.
picking out what things you say.
I agree with you that we should research what they do. You know, we shouldn't
Yeah.
always just look at the sound bites that we hear coming out of news stations. We should really look at their actions, how they interact with people that don't agree with them, especially.
Yes.
But also, if we hold candidates to be infallible, that's also really, really silly. But also, people can change their minds.
People can change their mind.
So if we say, but he had a different idea 10 years ago, maybe he did.
I like that. I want my candidates. When the majority of the nation disagreed with gay marriage, that wasn't that long ago. That was maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The majority of the country was still against it. The politicians were like, yeah, I don't like it. And then when the country said shifting, saying, I agree with gay marriage, politicians were like, yeah, all right, sure.
Because they're called to represent the people.
yeah,
Because they just want to lie about what they actually think.
okay,
Oh my
Shelley,
gosh.
you change your opinion in life
I
too.
change my
Yeah.
opinion all the time.
So
but if you're
so
running
there
for
you go.
office,
When new,
but then like if that was their really like gay marriage, that's like a big thing that people feel really strongly about. And if you believe that and then you switch it, I don't know. I just don't believe anything politicians say ever.
majority
I'm really
of the country
skeptical.
switched though.
I've switched several times in my life. I think actually intelligence comes from someone who could admit that they were wrong.
Yes. Yes.
Probably.
Yes,
And so
yes.
if you admit that you're wrong and say, look, I've come to a different conclusion now. Wow.
That's great. Yeah.
So Ian's right that when we're able to switch our viewpoints, we're actually gaining knowledge and intelligence, and it's showing that we are really intelligent. But we need to remember that God doesn't change. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And we need to make sure that our views in politics and what we're voting for are lining up and are based on the gospel of Jesus Christ, ultimately.
Yes. Yes.
Also, a candidate isn't always going to fit everything you believe. And you have to think, okay, what can I do right now in order to fulfill my civic duty? He may do some things that I don't agree with, but I agree with this, and so I'm going to go for it.
Cast an educated vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't be ignorant.
And cast your vote with love in your heart and not hatred or disdain for others' people. You
Yeah.
know? Get the love there.
Because otherwise, we'll continue to be the third most hated religion in the world.
In the country, not the
In the country.
How many options are there when you go to vote this year?
I don't know. Is this a real ballot? Is this like real life? They tell you how to hold a pencil.
Okay, you ready for this?
Gosh, no. No.
No, those are chopsticks. They tell you how to hold chopsticks. I'm just kidding.
Are we that dumb of a country?
Can you
Oh
zoom
my
in on
gosh.
this though? Like, look at
Gotta
that.
be
I don't know if you
kidding
can
me.
zoom in, but that shows you the correct way to hold a pencil. And I
Oh
know
my
that
gosh.
because I went to a charter school.
If you do not know how to hold a pencil, don't vote. Actually, I do not.
I'll teach
if
you.
you can't hold a pencil,
Go like this.
good grief.
Put it in here.
There are 22 people we could vote for the
President?
president.
I thought there were like 4 options.
They're
So
not,
anyways,
they're not watching this.
don't just vote for somebody because
I actually don't know how to hold a pencil.
wait. Don't just vote for somebody because your best friend posted a funny meme about the other one that was kind of like, oh, that's kind of frightening and I don't want to vote for that person. You need to know what they're all about and you should get it from the correct sources and you shouldn't just get it from word of mouth. You should know for yourself.
And if you don't
Learning
know,
for yourself is actually a thing that we do in the church. It's a scripture somewhere.
and if you don't know what to do fully, you should ask for the Lord's help to direct you on how to research correctly. My mom actually, she got really upset when Barack Obama was elected because people would be so mad at America. But she said, "Look, he is in charge of our nation. I hope he has the power of God to direct him. We definitely should be praying for him because if he is led astray, we will perish." Okay? And so we need to pray to help him, to help our leaders to do the right thing.
No, I agree.
Even if we don't agree with them.
Yes. Here's the bottom line, guys. No matter who you vote for, that person cannot save the country or destroy it. America was formed by the hand of God, and we need to adhere to his principles. Because the blessings of the nation are contingent upon the people. And if we are acting in a way that is not good, or is following the adversary's plan of sin and hatred and wickedness, then those blessings will be taken away.
If you're allowing yourself to be filled with hate and anger because of somebody's difference of opinion or because one of the candidates is making you angry and you're talking about that, you're part of the problem. If you talk about really important subjects with hostility and ridicule, you're part of the problem. It doesn't matter if you're speaking to another person one-on-one or if you're posting it online, you're dealing in contention, and that is a sin. And it doesn't stop being a sin just because it's election season and everybody's doing it.
Also, stand up for your convictions. Stand up for what is good and true. And it's okay to disagree with one another, but it is not okay to be mad at other people for their convictions.
The Book of Mormon makes it pretty clear. Mosiah 29:27. And if the time comes that the voice of the people doth choose iniquity, then is the time that the judgments of God will come upon you. Yea, then is the time he will visit you with great destruction, even as he has hitherto visited this land.
Jesus is coming!
My dear brothers and sisters, those are just some of the sentiments I wanted just to share over what young members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints actually think about, because they could be three here, but that is actually the sentiments and that is the thinking of our young men and our young members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Don't you think this was so brilliant? Very, very brilliant. I kind of like a lot of the insights they've shared. A lot of the insights they shared. There is no need of actually, showing animosity and showing, hatred towards other people. And I was so shocked also to notice that our our members of the church are the third, I think is the third hated most, church or religion, wherever you may call it in America. You know, I think they mentioned like Muslims, and then they mentioned was it Muslims, atheists, and then the third one are Mormons. Okay, so that is one of the greatest things, and I think for those that are watching, you've actually picked one or two, and especially for our brothers and sisters in America, we are wishing you well, especially when you're preparing in this season of voting. There's always political temperatures and all that, and people will actually show their spirit, especially when they're trying to campaign for the candidate they prefer, you know. And I think our our young brothers and sisters they've actually showed us the way on what I think we need to do, because most of the time we should not forget who we are, and we should focus on the spirit, and we should actually do things relative to what the spirit will always confirm to us. It is very okay. I've seen most of the elections of American elections the way they are. They actually vote with a lot of intellect, policies, and they follow exactly the historical background of an individual or a candidate. Unlike most of the elections that we do experience in Africa, because in Africa is do or die. It is a tribal census, that now it is your tribe against my tribe. And at times they will form what we call tribal coalitions. That this tribe has ruled for so many years. Now it is now our time for us to rule. So there's nothing like policies, nothing like, issues. It's, in Africa, it's not politics of issues. It is always tribalism, you know. And when they go for an election, it's a tribal census. How many how many are we as compared to the other tribes, you know? So, and that is why you find that at the end of it all, there's always a trigger of post-election violence, because some other tribes will feel like, how come, they don't want to believe that they are being actually dethroned, or they are losing the power that they so much enjoyed for quite some time. So they will feel very bad. So instead of that, they will want to trigger war, you know. And in Africa during elections, man, it's only God. It's only God. But for Americans, I think people are very much intellectual there. They understand what they're doing. Democracy has been very strong there. But most African countries, democracy is still very young. These people come from a tradition of kingship. They only know a specific family. That is a family that is supposed to give kings. So it's a clan or a family that is known that they are actually giving the lead. They are the ones who were ordained. It's a leadership, hereditary and all that. So this democracy is a new thing to most of the African countries. And that's why you'll find that if one realizes I can also, be the president, and the other one says I can also be the president, and that one, at the end of it all, you find a lot of innocent people die because of that. And I like the soberness that the three Mormons here have actually taught us today. And I would like to say thank you for them. And even for those that have heard, please make sure you maintain the spirit and make sure you follow what the counsels of the prophets and leaders of the church have laid. Otherwise, I wish you a greater day as you support your candidate and a wonderful and prosperous election year. Otherwise, thank you very much. God bless you. And I'm looking forward to see you again next time. Ciao.